afternoon. Happy Halloween, everybody. This is our Halloween special episode for 2023, which I believe is the year, though I find it hard to keep track these days. Joining me as ever are Professor Dogger, who is feeling very spooky, and Professor J, who is on the other side of the world. How are things on the other side of the world, Professor J?
Ooh, very spooky. So spooky that today we'll be using the devil's interval, the tritone.
Scary stuff.
So yeah, so it's just flat five. It's all
Well,
about
those
the
flat
flat
fives.
five. Tension.
Yes. So, do you want to have a quick talk about where that is used and what kind of songs it's used in?
I mean, it's used all over the place. I think wasn't it banned from classical music in like the 1500s because it was seen as the devil's interval.
Right.
I'm sure I read that at one point.
Yeah.
I think famously Ozzy Osbourne used it a lot in Black Sabbath.
Well, Tony Iommi, the guitarist, yes.
Yeah, well, yes, indeed.
Yes.
And it set off various people, but really, I mean, everything's got it.
Yeah, it is
So,
very doomy.
So if you think about the intro to Enter Sandman, that's a tritone.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Well vocalized, sir. Right, so today we shall be discussing, rather quickly, 5 songs with tenuous connections to Halloween. Where would you like to start, Dr. J? Should we start with a little bit of Monster Mash?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you very much. So what do you know about this classic tune, Professor A?
Well, I have lots of facts in my document, but this is probably not the time for them. It was a song from the dim distant past about monsters. That's all we need to say.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was the Halloween song when I was growing up. So
yes.
So yeah, this is a song by what's his name? Boris Pickett. And it happened he was in a group called something. The group was called the Cordials.
Yes.
And one night while he was playing, he did an impression of Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff being your quintessential
horror movie actor from
horror movie, scary
40s
person.
and 50s and things.
Yeah.
Yes. He famously portrayed Frankenstein's monster. Was probably his best.
Yes. And he played it. The crowd loved it. So with one of his bandmates, they wrote this song, "The Monster Mash," and it's kind of a pastiche of the songs that were popular at the time. So this is 1962, and there were dance crazes that were popular at the time. So there was the twist, and then the mashed potato.
Indeed.
And this is a spoof of that. So let's dive into some lyrics. I mean, this is a banger.
Oh, absolutely.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash, it was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash.
Absolutely. So presumably this is a Frankenstein's monster scenario because he's got a monster on a slab, and then
working on him.
yes, cool. And then he wakes up and starts to
gets his groove on, doing the monster mash.
Cuts the rug.
Okay, more lyrics. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. They did the mash, etc., 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 etc.
I don't know why they want to be electrocuted just because someone's invented a new dance. That seems a bit strange to me. Who knows?
Right, caught on in a flash. They all did it. They did the monster mash.
Yes.
More lyrics. The zombies were having fun. Tennis shoe wahoo. The party had just begun. Tennis shoe wahoo.
Missed
The
that bit
guests,
completely.
the guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking. All were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five. They played the mash. Blah 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 blah.
Indeed.
So he's name checking all the scary people he can think of. Igor, Wolfman.
Absolutely, yeah. This is the Wolfman is presumably referring to Lon Chaney Jr., who famously played the Wolfman in the film The Wolfman. He's also the only actor to have played all four of the monsters made by Universal Studios. He did Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, and the Wolfman. So he's the.
So it's not Wolfman Jack from American Graffiti then.
Probably not. No. That was 70s, wasn't it? This is
1973. Yeah, Oscar winner. The Wolfman. But he had that great voice, that gravelly voice.
I can't
the Wolfman.
so long.
Wolfman Jack. Well, I saw it. I've watched it this year.
Right.
Okay, so what's this tennis shoe wahoo?
I have no idea that existed. It's completely passed me by. It's not in my lyrics I've got here, and I don't remember ever hearing it when listening to the song. But yeah, whatever.
Well, you must remember the wahoo. Wahoo.
Oh, yes.
Tennis
A
shoe
wahoo's a
wahoo.
fish, by the way. I don't think that's
Oh, is
relevant.
it?
Yes, it is.
That was a search engine.
I think that's...
Was that Ask Jeeves?
Duck, duck, go. Yes.
Duck yourself. Okay, more lyrics. Out from his coffin, Drax's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the lid and shook his fist and said, Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? It's now the mash. It's now the monster mash. Blah, 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 blah. Now everything's cool. Drax a part of the band, and my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you. Then you can mash. You can monster mash, yada, yada, yada. Then we've got the outro. Wahoo, monster mash. Wahoo. And then, easy, Igor, you impetuous young boy.
Before that line, Igor says, "Mash good," and after that line, he says, "Mash good, grr."
How spooky! And that is all the lyrics of the Monster Mash.
Yeah, it's lots of references to, as we say, Universal Studio horror movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just back down to the serious professional investigations of lyrics. It's kind of picking up what's in vogue at the time, right? So it's talking about the dance music. It's pulling out all the names from popular things, and it's creating a link with the audience. It's something a bit funny, but it's saying it's meant for you too. Have you ever seen him doing it live?
Bobby, no, I don't
Boris.
think I have. No.
His face is something else. You should watch it. Yeah. There's various live versions of him doing it back in the 60s, and his face is it's like rubber. It's so expressionate. It's
excellent.
Very impressive.
Did you know it was written in 2 hours? That's quite impressive.
That long?
Yeah. Do you want to know how the sound effects were made?
Please.
It being 1962 and not now. The coffin being opened was pulling a rusty nail out of a lump of wood with a claw hammer. The bubbling sounds was blowing through a straw in a glass of water, and the sounds of the chains being dropped was by dropping some chains, which is a strange thing to do, to make that noise.
I mean, the job of a Foley artist, right? It must be
exactly, yes.
The funnest job in the world, I'd imagine.
Well, it must be quite fun. It doesn't seem to have the Wilhelm scream in it, which I thought it would.
Oh. Okay. This was a million seller first time round, this song. Yes, this was 62. It was number 1 in the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah.
It has been a perennial Halloween favorite ever since. For example, in 2021, 60 years after, nearly 60 years after its release, it charted at 37, which is pretty good. I love this song.
It's great.
Really
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Do you want to hear some things about who liked it and who didn't?
Oh, please.
Boris Karloff liked it. He loved it. He actually performed it on a Halloween special of a variety show called Shindig in 1965.
Okay.
So he liked it. The guy who didn't like it was Elvis.
Okay.
I've lost it now, but he said it was. Oh yes, he called it the dumbest record I've ever heard.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right. And do you know it was banned by the BBC in 1962 when it first
No,
came out?
why?
Because it was too morbid.
Okay.
That's the BBC for you.
Well, we're going to get more morbid later, so let's
Yes,
get back.
right.
Um,
And also it was covered by the Beach Boys. Did you know that?
I did not know it was covered by the Beach Boys.
Yes.
Of course, it was covered by one of my all-time favorite bands, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band.
Right.
And it
Didn't have those
features
written
on their '69 album Tadpoles. There was also an anonymous session musician cover in 1974, but a record that I believe I have or had, I have had, I believe it is in my parents' attic, some loft somewhere. It's on Mr. Pickwick Records 1974 Top of the Tots EP. Along, I remember this vinyl, and also it's got on it. Remember, you're a Womble. Tie a yellow ribbon and long-haired lover from Liverpool.
Easy for you to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's a hell of a record. I mean, the Wombles. I had 2 or 3 Wombles albums when I was a child. They were great. Really good
Yeah.
stuff.
Mike Batt.
Yes, that's right.
He's a legend. He's a very talented musician, Mike Batt.
Yes.
And he's only slightly annoyed that most people remember him for the Wombles rather than everything else.
Yes.
So who else has done cover versions? The esteemed mad scientist / ringmaster of the Circus of Horrors, Dr. Hayes, released one on his Evil Anthology of 2008. All-Star Weekend did it in 2011. Andrew Gold, 1996. And the Wiggles did it. Do you know the Wiggles, Professor A?
I don't know the Wiggles. No, are they like the Beatles?
Very similar. No, they're a very, very popular kids entertainment dancing Australian thing who are sort of really global. So this kind of got number 1 everywhere. Number 1 all over the place. Then it's repeated number 1 various times when it's been re-released, like 1973.
Yes.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it is, yes, and I think we should all do the Monster Mash in the privacy of our own homes as soon as we've finished watching this.
Something like that, isn't it?
Oh. Yes, I think so. Very good, very good. So, shall we move on to the next song with a tenuous connection to Halloween?
Well, it's got Halloween in the title, so.
I was thinking of the other one.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. Yes, that one. So the next song we have chosen is
Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon.
Yeah, so who is Warren Zevon?
He was a very talented musician with some very macabre lyrics. He's a fantastic piano player, a very passable guitar player. He was one of my favourite, or still is one of my favourites, especially when my sort of introspective 30s. He was my absolute favourite. This song, Werewolves of London, comes from his third album called Excitable Boy, and Excitable Boy is a lot more morbid and macabre than either this or Monster Mash. I assure you, that song is a bit strange. But apparently he wrote it in 1970. It was released in 1978. He was working at the time as the band leader for the Everly Brothers.
Really?
And
Wow.
Phil Everly of the Everly Brothers came up with the title. He just said to his band leader, Warren Zevon, we want a song called Werewolves of London, please. And Zevon and the guy who went on to become his guitarist throughout most of his releases, Waddy Watchtel, or Wachtel, I don't know how you pronounce it. Wachtel, yes, maybe. They started strumming some guitars and sort of freestyling lyrics about the title they'd been given. Zevon came up with the line, I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand first. And then they sort of just threw it back and forward until they came up with the song. So shall we get into some of the lyrics?
Yes. Okay. I saw werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand. Oh, hang on. Before we do that, I need to go back to the Monster Mash and talk about the number of lyrics, number of words.
Oh, no.
How many words?
250.
Rubbish. 401. How many unique?
70.
146. It's a long one.
It is.
It's one of the longest we've ever done, amazingly. I mean, they do say Monster Mash a lot. Okay. I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets of Soho in the rain. He was looking for the place called Li Ho Fook's for to get a big dish of beef chow mein. Ow! Werewolves of London. Ow, ow, werewolves of London. Ow.
Yeah. Li Ho Fook's is a genuine restaurant in Soho. I don't know if it's still there or not.
Well, let's talk about Soho. So Soho is an area in the centre of London.
Yes.
It's kind of like the West End, so it's where all the artistic bits are, where all the theatres are. And I don't know it very well, but I imagine all the recording studios are there. So probably all the musicians are hanging out somewhere around there.
Well, to be honest, in the 70s when this was written, it was known as being the sex shop centre of London.
Well, yeah,
the red light area. It's been gentrified in the recent years. Yes.
Right.
So a werewolf, obviously, a werewolf is someone who is cursed with lycanthropy and turns into a wolf creature at full moon.
Yep.
That's a fact. That's not just legend. That's actually what they are. Lycanthropy is in fact a real disease, I believe, but it doesn't do. Yes, it doesn't do what they say.
What does it do?
I think one of the things it does is causes excessive hair growth on the face and that kind of thing. So that's where it comes from, I believe. I'm probably wrong. And Li Ho Fook's does indeed, or did indeed at the time, serve beef chow mein. Presumably was known for it. So that's what.
I beg to differ, sir. You are incorrect. Clinical lycanthropy is a rare psychiatric syndrome that involves a delusion that the affected person can transform into, has transformed into, or is an animal. But I know what you're talking about, the sort of hairy guys.
Trico something.
Trico, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, and that's presumably where the legends of werewolves came from. So that's that. That verse.
Catherine Clark Kruger has written that several parts of the Bible refer to King Nebuchadnezzar's behavior in the book of Daniel 4 as being a manifestation of clinical lycanthropy.
Really?
It all comes back to the Bible.
It always does, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh well.
Neurologist Andrew J. Larner has written that the fate of the Odysseus, never said that one, Odysseus crew, due to the magic of Circe, may be one of the earliest examples of clinical lycanthropy. The Armenian king Tiridates III also had this disorder. He was cured by Gregory the Illuminator.
You put a
According to
light bulb
Persian
log.
tradition, the Buyid prince Majd al-Dawla was experiencing an illusion that he was a cow. He was cured by Ibn Sina. Lycanthropy is attributed to melancholia or an excess of black bile. Even King James VI, in his 1597 treatise Demonology, does not blame werewolf behavior on delusions created by the devil, but an excessive melancholy as the culprit, which causes some men to believe that they are wolves and to counterfeit the actions of these animals. That's a king.
That's an actual king. Yes,
An
yes.
actual real life king. Okay, more words. You hear him howling round your kitchen door. You better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night. Werewolves of London again. Oh, 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 etc.
Yes, obviously this is suggesting that he's not just a chap who goes out for a Chinese takeaway. He's also someone who's going to do you in. I think the line "little old lady got mutilated late last night" is brilliant because it's such alliteration. Even the alliteration in the middle of mutilated, the L there still works with the other L's.
Little old
There
lady got
was,
mutilated late last night. It's good, yeah.
yeah, there is a. Did have something about that here. Come on, where is it? I'm not doing very well here, am I? But no, apparently he wanted to say a little old lady got killed last night or something, and one of his bandmates said we'll change it for the alliteration, but they just probably trying to take credit, I suggest. Yes.
Okay, more lyrics. He's the hairy-handed gent who ran amok in Kent. Lately, he's been overheard in Mayfair. You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. Huh, I'd like to meet his tailor. Oh, etc.
Right, yes. So obviously the werewolf is not just mutilating little old ladies in London. He's been seen in the home counties in Kent. So he's running amok, which I think is a lovely phrase. I've always liked that.
He's a good friend.
Mayfair, of course, is another area of London, but a much more upmarket, as you can tell from the English version of the Monopoly board, if you happen to have played that. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I'd like to meet his tailor. Zevon was very close friends with the musician James Taylor, so that will be an allusion to him.
It's just a name check.
Pretty much. But he's also saying that this guy, this hairy-handed gent who is mutilating people, he's also very well dressed, and he likes that.
He likes Chinese. He likes ripping apart old ladies. He's well dressed.
He likes
He's all over the
James
place.
Taylor. Yeah.
Who could it be?
Yes.
Okay, more lyrics. Well, I saw Lon Chaney walking with the Queen, doing the Werewolves of London. I saw Lon Chaney Jr. walking with the Queen, doing the Werewolves of London. I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada. Trader Vic's, his hair was perfect. Oh,
He says,
Werewolves of London. Hey, draw blood.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah, so it's another reference to Lon Chaney Jr. we mentioned in the last song. Lon Chaney, the senior, appeared in a film called a 1927 silent film called London After Midnight. Do you know anything about this?
Negative.
It's a lost film. There's no copies left extant. His character was a sort of cross between a vampire and a werewolf, but it's there's an urban legend that anyone who sees this film will go irrevocably mad. That it's caused all kinds of people to go mad having seen it.
A bit like the
Ring.
was it the beach, the fire by who was it? It was the Beach Boys. Who was that?
Don't know anything about that.
There's a session of a 60s band that was destroyed because they made this song called Fire and then the studio burnt down.
Oh, Weird World of Arthur Brown.
No, it's not that.
That's a great song.
It's
Right, don't know. Could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's these two Lon Chaney Juniors. Why the Queen's out walking with the Cheneys? I have no idea. It could be I don't know. Trader Vic's was a chain of bars. Started in California. There was one in the basement of the London Hilton on Park Lane, which is next to Mayfair and the second most expensive property on the English version of Monopoly.
Okay.
Apparently, when he played it live, the audience always used to really yell, and his hair was perfect. That was the big participatory line.
I mean, it's an odd song. The lines are really weird.
Yeah, and in the last bit, he sometimes, instead of saying, "Ah, woo, werewolves of London," he'd go, "Ah, woo, Jack Nicholson," live. Jack Nicholson obviously played a werewolf in the film Wolf. I think this was before then, so perhaps he just thought he looked a bit werewolfy, which, to be fair, he does in most of his early stuff. Shining, etc.
He does, yeah.
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 So I absolutely love this song, but it's not one of my favourite Warren Zevon songs, I have to say.
Yeah.
It's too contrived for my liking.
When did American Werewolf in London come out? That was the 80s, right?
79 or 80, I think.
This is 72, did you say?
70, it was written, released 78. I think it's
There's
in
nothing
it.
to do.
It's
So
on
it's
the
nothing.
jukebox.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm sure there was
Yeah.
a connection somewhere
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
with
it
this.
gets played on the jukebox in the film.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
this is barely sensical. I wouldn't say nonsensical, but there's not a lot of mildly sensical. Should we say that?
Yes, that's why not. It was his only top 40 hit, presumably that means in America, as a singer, although he wrote a song for Linda Ronstadt, which got to 31 as well. He was meant to be promoted by his record company and be a massive star. They really believed in him, but he decided to become an alcoholic instead and didn't perform live or come back to the studio until 1980 and lost all the momentum from there. So that's sad.
You've got to have
Also,
a hobby, right?
yeah, quite.
Drinking.
Do you know who played on the song?
No.
Woody Wachtel, obviously, who co-wrote it with him, was the guitarist. Zevon played piano, and the bass and drums were John McVeigh and Nick Fleetwood, who are the Fleetwood and the Mac of Fleetwood Mac.
Oh wow.
Yes, and they are fantastic.
I didn't realise that's how Fleetwood Mac got their name.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm learning. Laughing and learning.
So there you go.
There we go. Next song in our Halloween special. What have we chosen next, Professor A?
This is a little ditty. It's a very silly little ditty. It is little because it's a minute and a half long, and it's the title track of a 2013 album by Dick Valentine.
I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you there. I haven't done the word count. I know you love. I know it's your favourite piece, so I know we can't miss it, Professor A. How many words are there in Werewolves of London, Professor A?
150.
Not bad. 182. How many are there unique?
70.
99, which is surprisingly high. Now,
he was
either this says he was, and it's kind of surprising that something that is so haphazardly written has stayed around so long, and people like singing the lyrics because it's a bit silly. But maybe we don't need to be so serious.
Maybe not. No.
Maybe not.
We'll talk about songs which aren't serious. As I said, the next song is Halloween Fingers by Dick Valentine. Do you know who Dick Valentine is, obviously, Professor Joe?
It's Tyler Spencer. Who's he?
Spencer, the former weatherman. Well, I don't think he ever was a weatherman. That's what he studied at university, meteorology. He's better known as the lead singer, shall we say, of Electric Six. And he is really prolific. For many years, well, up till COVID, Electric Six did an album a year plus live albums, and he's also released about 10 solo albums in that time, plus playing with the band Evil Cowards, who we were going to discuss in a podcast and then forgot. So, but we've probably done research for it, so maybe we should look that one out. Yes, so he's known for his strange lyrics, funny lyrics. This one's just weird, but I love the way he fits the words into the music. Sort of lyrical overload in places,
as it were.
Yes.
I mean, he's done pretty well to overload this one, considering it's 1 minute 35 seconds long.
Yeah, it's just a fairly brisk acoustic guitar song with some fiddly bits at the end.
Yeah. I'm diving in. Notice she howls as you find the right spot. Halloween fingers stir every witch's pot. So stop all your bluffs and show me what you got, or fold and cry your way home.
Yeah, I mean, ostensibly this is a Halloween song, but nothing's ever what it seems with Mr. Valentine, Mr. Spencer. Yeah, presumably that's a sex reference referring to witches. And then bluffs and fold is a card game references, poker, presumably. So yeah, this is. I haven't really had many notes on this. It's just a silly song I wanted people to hear.
It is a silly song. I'm doing more words. Yesterday's actress. I'll try again with those words. Yesterday's actress. I can't say it. Yesterday's actresses start to look hit. Halloween fingers pinch every goblin's bleep. So come to the States where the lager is bleep. I'll invite you into my home.
Yes. Yesterday's actress starts to look hit. Well, presumably this is about sort of allegations of abuse, like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, which I believe was probably after this song came out, but I'm sure there have been others similar. You appear to have a plectrum stuck to your forehead, Professor J. That's really quite stylish. Okay, that's thrown me off a bit. Yes, that would be that. They released an album.
Sorry, hang on. Are you saying this refers to Johnny Depp?
No, I'm saying this is probably before the Johnny Depp thing, but I think sure there are other cases where actresses were.
Yeah, so this is 2013.
Yes.
So.
I was going to say. Oh yes, they released Electric Six released an album a couple of weeks ago, a month maybe, and one of the songs included the line "Today's child actors are tomorrow's evil clowns," which I think is the case.
That's great.
He likes to sort of redo the same lines completely differently, but with the same central wording, I think.
The interesting thing with this verse is the third line. So come to the States where the lager is bleep. So they're not in the States. So where are they?
I don't know, but
where are these actresses?
I don't know. He's talking to the actress. I think he's talking to whoever's listening to the song. But
okay.
So I think he's just saying, yeah, just come over here to America and I'll invite you into my home. Oh, and the lager's not very good here, which is perfectly true. So.
Maybe it's there's a lot of microbreweries in the US.
Okay. Long time since I've been, and I don't drink beer anymore. So who knows?
Anyway, more lyrics. And everything comes from the same place. Everything comes from a regional processing and distribution center in outer space. But don't let your mum and dad know that you know. They're not emotionally equipped to know that you already know. Most of the things they were trying to prevent you from knowing. The wind is kicking up now and the leaves are blowing.
Yeah, I just love that because he fits so many words into the same space as the last verse. It's about twice as many words. Word count for you.
That's coming up. Yes. Don't you worry about that.
I think it's the first part of it is talking about how people buy everything from Amazon, etc. Or Tommen if you're into your musical instruments and you don't live in the UK. And everything just is in. You've done it again. Everything is in a regional processing and distribution centre. So I don't know. It's just silly. And the wind is kicking up now, and the leaves are blowing. Places it in fall, autumn, so Halloween time.
Yep.
That's what I've said.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about it.
This was just a quick intermission.
Yeah. It's over, it's over. I've been betrayed. Halloween fingers stir Satan's lemonade. So dance around the maypole like we were enslaved and sing hoey, 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 woo-oh, woo-oh, oh, whoa, hoey, 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 whoa,
Ho-wee ho-wee
ho,
ho.
hoey, hoey, ho.
Yeah, exactly. Again, this harks back to some other Electric Six lyrics. I can't remember which album it's on, but the song is called "Welcome to the Green Building," and it includes the lines. What is it? Satan's cheerleaders dance around the maypole in September. We haven't had that kind of spectacle here since I can remember. So he likes a maypole.
Should we explain what a maypole is to international audience? Massive
Sure.
international audience?
Yes, it's a pole that's stuck in the ground, and you dance around it in May, holding
So
streamers
traditionally,
attached to it.
yeah, so you have a pole and typically children. I did this when I was at school, and this is in the UK or maybe specifically England. You each have when I did it, it was white or red. You have a piece of quite thick material attached to the top, and you sort of dance around in a circle, weaving in and out, and it sort of knits itself down and makes a pattern on the pole. Typically done in the spring, hence maypole, I believe.
Yes, presumably it's some ancient fertility rite or something. I would have thought.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I'm sure if you watch what's the Edward Woodward film?
Oh, Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man. I'm sure there's maypoling in that.
Yes, there is.
That's a cracking film.
It is good.
Great songs in it as well. Willow's songs.
Yes, there are. I've got a special edition DVD of it somewhere. It does. It's not because I haven't got a DVD player, so it's completely useless to me. Yes. So yeah, that was just a silly song that I, for some bizarre reason, thought should go in.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, you have no taste, we've established. Right, on to the next one that you didn't like.
No. We haven't done the word count.
Of course we haven't. No. It's about
How many
125 words.
170 words. How many of them are unique?
90.
113. I think I might change this in the future. I might do ratio of unique
there you go.
to non-unique. So it's quite a high ratio of non-unique to unique. So 113 to 170. That includes 8 HOAs and 5 HOs, which is low for the top number. So the top most common word is the HOA with 8.
Well, I'd argue that it's actually ho-a-ho. Ho-a-ho, a-ho.
Well, you'll be wrong because there's 8 HOAs and only 5 HOs. Or maybe there's some extra HOAs.
Well, in that case, I'd argue it's one word. Ho-a-ho-a-ho.
HOA. No, it's ho-a-ho, ho-a, ho-a-ho.
It's not, because I'm going from knowing the song, and you're going from some lyrics you've copied from somewhere.
From the internet. They're real. They're real. That's a. Yeah. But anyway, it's a high proportion of unique words. But and if you look, for example, at the Monster Mash, what do you think were the 2 most common words in the Monster Mash?
I think monster and mash.
Correct. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but one of them was 37. I think the other one might have been 42. So I think monster was 42 because they say monster more than mash. So my point being that, as much as I'm not a big fan of this song, even though I do like Tyler, I like a lot of his other stuff. I'm not a big fan of this one. It is, in terms of the lyrical thing, it's unique and it's very
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Big spooky song. Okay, it's Ryan Adams, Halloween Head. What year was this one released? USA.
I don't know. I know it's from the Easy Tiger album. I forgot to note down when that was. 2007, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with Halloween, to be honest. Well, it does mention a couple of Halloween terms, but it's not what it's about.
Well, it is. It is. I don't know. Lyrics. Here comes that bleep again. I've got a Halloween head full of tricks and treats. It leads me through the nighttime streets. Black cats and falling trees, under ladders always walking. Salt shaker spills, just throw it over your shoulder, babe. I've got a bad idea again. I've got a Halloween head, Halloween head.
Indeed. So, the first reference to a Halloween term here is tricks and treats. Then it starts to talk about things that are considered.
Do we need to explain what trick or treating is? Do international audiences
I don't
understand
think so.
this?
Not if they're trying to watch a Halloween special.
That's true.
Anyway, the first line, here comes that bleep again. He's saying this is a situation which is recurring. And what he's singing about is not new to him. It has become familiar. And he doesn't like it because he says it's bleep.
Yeah.
He's got a Halloween head.
It could be some good bleep. You do get good bleep and bad bleep.
Well, yes, but I think the rest of the song shows it's bad bleep. Halloween head, his definition of this from something he wrote on his website years and years ago, which isn't there anymore, but is on the internet, so it's true. He said Halloween Head is a fan of the Cardinals' music. That was one of his bands. He's played with so many bands. A stoner, outcast, someone who doesn't know what kind of mood they're in. Not sponsored by Bud Light or collecting girls' or guys' numbers during a quiet breakdown. They're usually laid back and engage in mellow conversation with band members when seen in arcades or getting food. They don't ask for bleep when people are eating. Not gravity challenged, but reality challenged, also known as bedheads or Chandler Bings. Okay. So that's what a Halloween head is, which is clear as muck, to be honest.
Yep.
Head full of tricks and treats. It could be a reference to the Halloween thing, or it could be treats being the drugs he's addicted to because he was when he wrote this. And tricks could be a reference to prostitution, of course. And these two things are what leads him through the nighttime streets. So he's wandering the nighttime streets and he's crossing paths with black cats walking under ladders. If a salt shaker spills, just throw it over your shoulder, babe. Allegedly, it's bad luck to spill salt. I tell that to today's celebrity chefs. And you're meant to be able to avoid that bad luck by throwing some of the spilled salt over your shoulder. I think it's a particular shoulder, but I don't know which left, is it?
Do you know why?
No, it's probably about Satan.
So what it is that you have your angel on one shoulder and your devil on the other shoulder. So if you spill salt, it's bad luck, and it's bad luck because in the olden days you were someone worth your salt, right? Salt was one of the most expensive commodities. So if you spilt
people were
salt,
paid in it, weren't they?
yeah, they were. Yeah, you're worth your salt. You know, you're worth the thing you're paid in, because it was something that was used for storing food. If you didn't have salt, you couldn't store meat, especially through the winter. So you were paid in salt, and if you spilt salt, it was deemed to be bad luck. So to remove the bad luck, you would take a small pinch of salt that you spilled, and you throw it over your shoulder. Ideally, over the shoulder that's got the devil on your shoulder. Is that the left? Is it the right? Who knows?
It'll probably be the left because that's where sinister comes from, of course. Sinister being Latin for left.
Sinistra. Yeah.
Dextra, obviously, for the right.
So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's like he's full moon's coming, and he's got this, or something's coming,
Yes.
and it turns him. Do you think it turns him, or do you think it leads him down these avenues of darkness?
I think he's singing about being unstable. It sort of seems to me somewhat like a bipolar thing.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
going into the manic phase.
or even bipolar, even schizophrenic.
Yeah.
When you're, or multiple personality, should we say, maybe something like that. When he,
Ryan Adams is known to suffer from anxiety and depression. He also has Meniere's disease, which means his hearing's really messed up. And
an eerie thing, right?
being a rock star is almost certainly the worst possible job you could have if you've got that. So.
I mean, certain people, you know who you are, that I play with, refuse to wear earplugs. They have tinnitus, complain when we play too loud, and yet still refuse to wear earplugs.
Silly.
Anyway. More lyrics. Head full of candy bags, costume shops, and punks in drag. Head full of tricks and treats, places where junkies meet, and it leads me through streets at night. That's all right. I just watch. I don't go inside. It's all the same old bleep again. I got a Halloween head. Got a Halloween head.
And then he goes, Lord, I got a Halloween head.
Yes.
And then he says,
And then
guitar solo.
That's obviously my favourite bit of the.
Yes, quite.
Does he do that in another song? This guitar solo bit?
No, but who does in a lot of songs is Mr. Tyler Spencer with Electric Six. He's always going solo.
Ah, that's where I'm remembering it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's obviously my favourite. I like this song. I do like this song. I think this is
it's a good one.
Tune. I love a guitar solo.
Zero irony.
It leads me through streets at night.
I think we need to go back to the head full of candy bags. I mean, candy bags obviously are a treat given to children when they're trick-or-treating. But also, in his case, it's pretty much certainly talking about a bag of drugs.
It's a nose candy, right? That's what we call it. Sweet sherbet.
Yeah. Costume shops and punks in drag. People go to costume shops at Halloween to borrow hire costumes. Punks in drag. People cross-dressing for Halloween or because they feel like it, basically. I think punk is a fairly derogatory term in American, isn't it?
Right. Punks as opposed to the punk spiky hair movement.
Yeah, I think it's
right. Punks. Yeah, I guess
I think it's a homosexual.
Probably. Potentially, I don't think of that. Punk is the sort of thing that you might expect to hear in American Graffiti, as we were just talking about.
Yeah,
as quite a not nice. Hey, you punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But as you say, it could also be spiky-haired punks who like punk music. I mean, he's released punk albums. So.
All right.
Yeah, he's done everything. He's released a heavy metal album. So.
I did not.
Actually,
know
quite good. I'll take that back. It's not quite good, but there are a couple of very good songs on it.
Okay. So then, this word, that's all right. I just watch. I don't go inside. What's that?
Yeah, I think he's saying that he was addicted to drugs, and he's probably doing Narcotics Anonymous or whatever. He's sort of reassuring people that he doesn't partake, even though he's wandering past all these things.
This is 2007. When?
I don't know.
In 2007, Adams revealed that he's endured an extended period of substance abuse that ended in 2006.
So now he's saying in 2007 he doesn't go in to get the drugs or whatever.
Yeah, so in the following years, he made several statements that he was newly sober. And in June 22, he said he'd reached 9 months of sobriety. And then, which is good. it's difficult to do that. So well done to you. And I don't think for most people they don't manage to do it on the first go. So well done to him. But so maybe this was written during one of his sobriety moments. So I think that's what it's saying there. Good. So we've had guitar solo, then we've got a lot of "I Got a Halloween Head," "Lordy, oh Lordy." Here come that that bleep again. And not much more, right? Downtown, downtown. I've got a Halloween head. Lord, I've got a Halloween head. What the bleep is wrong with me? God, I'm a Halloween head. So,
yes. Well, from the definition we gave earlier, he's probably saying, "Oh God, I'm a fan of myself." But that doesn't seem to be what he's actually saying. Yeah, it's a nice little song about being insecure and unstable and sticking to your sobriety, even though you have all this temptation and it's occurring at Halloween and he's using Halloween.
And you're in a dark place that maybe you want to taste some of the candy and you're not doing it. So well done. Well done, Bryan Adams. Oh no, I've made that mistake. We have to talk about this. We have to.
Well,
it's obligatory.
I think what we have to talk about is that I'm not sure we're still allowed to talk about Bryan Adams because he got cancelled by Me Too, didn't he? I think he might have been uncancelled again. Yes, because he apparently said hurtful things to his ex-wife.
Step away from that. So, famously, there was a concert that he was playing, and somebody yelled out during one of the songs, apparently repeatedly and drunkenly, "Play the Summer of '69," inferring that he was Bryan Adams and not Ryan Adams. What a gag!
Yes.
And apparently, 2016 they became friends, Ryan and Bryan, and have even performed together. Summer of '69. They have performed.
Ryan has performed Summer of '69 several times recently. He's sort of mellowed to the idea. Yeah. Well, there we go. We've only got one song. I know you want to do a word count. Of course, you want to do a word count. Let's.
Should we do the word count? Would you like to do the word count?
Then. Let's say 150.
How many words do you think are in this one?
150.
Not bad. 178. How many unique?
55.
76. You may notice again. This comes from our original assumption that, well, the original reason I thought of this was because of that interview with Ben Folds, where he said that a kind of well-written song had 45 to 50 words in it. I mean, it was a throwaway comment, right? But
yeah, I don't.
Let's take it and run with it. Well, according to these, he's a long way off. But some of our songs that we've covered in other episodes to come do stick around to that sort of 50 area.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll publish an archive of songs and ratios, and that'd be great, huh?
You could do a learned study or something. I don't know. I don't know that we should be basing all our word count theories on someone who's had one hit. Is he really the authority on this?
Take that back, Professor A. I think he's I hold him in very high esteem, Mr. Ben Folds. He does a lot of other stuff. Go and have a look. He's a great guy.
Righty-ho.
All right, so now we're finishing the tritone, if you like, of the three guys who were born within a skip and a hop of each other. They're all born within a couple of years of each other.
Ryan Adams was 74. I know that because he's got a song called 1974.
Stephen Lynch, who we're about to do, is 71, and Tyler Spencer is 72. Here's a thing. So, what are we doing? Stephen Lynch, and this song is called Halloween.
Halloween. No heads, no fingers, no messing about.
No shoulders, no knees, no toes.
No.
So, I'm just going to dive in.
Well, we should say this song as it appeared on the album. I can't remember what the album's called, but it's live. The album's live. So
I was going to ask that because
you not listened to it then?
Yeah, I have, but I didn't know if what I'd listened to was a live version rather than if there was another version.
No, that is the version. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a 2005 song from the album The Craig Machine, release date January the 1st. Okay, lyrics. This one's weird because I can only play it once a year on Halloween. Scary. Thinking of all the cool creatures that I will meet on this night, ghosts and goblins and witchins roaming the street in moonlight. Bowls of candy and goodies, delicious and waiting in store. The sound of cute little footsteps as they approach my front door. I'm going to pause there for dramatic effect. So we've got a good scene setting, right?
Yes. He's obviously sitting at home, ready to be really nice to some little children who come trick or treating.
Yeah, and this is when it goes horrifically horrific. Okay. Letting the children inside to drink beers, razor blades hidden in Three Musketeers, screams from the basement of kids begging to be set free. That's what Halloween means to me. Tightening the clamps that are holding their little heads so tight, putting my lips to their ears as I whisper, "Don't fight. I promise I'll let you go home if you swear not to tell a soul." Well, I'll just untie these. I'm kidding. Now, where is my chainsaw? Let's rock and roll. I'm going to pause there again.
Yes.
Oh, it went dark quickly, huh?
Yeah. People who don't know Stephen Lynch, he's described himself as a singing comedian. He also just says he might be the son of Beelzebub.
It's hard to badge him, right? He's kind of a more recent Weird Al Yankovic.
I guess so, but he's also a very talented guitar player, which helps.
Sure.
Nearly all
I
acoustic.
mean, but most of his stuff is he's just standing there playing the guitar, so you don't see a lot of that talent.
Well, if you listen to some of his other albums, which aren't live, he's very talented. And he's also, I believe, he has a Tony Award. He appeared in the Broadway production of The Wedding Singer. He was the main guy.
What is a Tony Award?
It's a award for
the best Tony in the screenplay.
For musical theatre, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's the equivalent of an Oscar. So, yes.
So he didn't play somebody called Tony?
No. Well, he probably has. I don't know. But yeah, and his songs are very, very darkly comic, I'll say, which is different to Weird Al Yankovic. It's just silly. And they were pretty much parodies of other people's songs, whereas Stephen Lynch writes his.
That is true. Yeah. Ali, more lyrics. A pinch of your brother, a teaspoon of you, with the head of your sister would make a good stew. I'll give you a taste, but your tongue's in the stew. Irony. That's what Halloween means to me. Trick or treat, smell my feet. Give me something good to eat. Trick or treat, smell my feet. Give me someone good to eat.
Yeah, it turns out he's a bit of a serial killer and cannibal. But,
Can have a hobby, right?
Exactly.
But it's like the drugs and the drink or the eating of people. What
to
else
be fair, people banging on your door for trick or treating is very annoying. I mean, haven't we all wanted to murder people before when that happens? So yes, this was just another silly song. Well, this one was the only one which really has a proper Halloween vibe. It's quite nasty.
Word count?
170.
203, pretty close.
And 110.
Very close. 136. So that makes a ratio of spooky 66%.
Really?
Word.
I bet that was
Oh.
intentional.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about Steve.
Well, you probably haven't heard a lot of his best songs.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Well, that was it. That was special, wasn't it?
That was our spooky special. Can I just say, Professor Dogger doesn't seem to like the Halloween vibe. Dogger.
Professor Dogger has a new collar, and when she barks, it vibrates and beeps, and she's sulky.
I bet she's
been really good and quiet, but she's sulky.
Is that a new thing? She had something similar before, Professor D.
No, it's a new thing because I just can't take the tensions it causes with the neighbours when she barks all the time. She's got a lot to say. Hello, you're awake.
Let's have a lot to say for herself. Hello, Prof D.
I think I'll probably have to remove the collar when we do podcasts in future because she's not doing a thing. She's not doing bleep, frankly.
She's not doing a thing. She's not entertaining the troops.
No. Oh well. Yes. So we, as you may notice watching this, we're on season 1.5 now. Even though we're just about to release episode 1 of season 1. Things are very timey-wimey and strange in Professor's Land. But
this is a special. This is to be inserted at Halloween.
Yes,
seamlessly.
Absolutely. So yes, we are continuing with releasing season 1. We may well do another couple of specials while it's going on because we get bored, and then we'll eventually be doing season 2. And I've already picked my acts. I think
I've definitely picked my first act.
Excellent. Who's that?
It's a secret. You can't. But,
okay.
100% chosen.
I will just say that my first pick will refer again to the mashed potato, which we referred to in Monster Mash. So anyway, that's that. So I hope you tolerated the Halloween special, which was meant to be special with special effects, but they didn't work.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Got my orange amp behind me. That would have been.
Oh, that would have been spooky.
Can I pretend that that's a pumpkin?
Excellent. Very, very good. Yes. Okay, so unless you have anything else to say, Professor J, let's wrap this here.
I'm good.
Right. Give us a like, give us a subscribe.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.